Hey guys, we are so excited to be live with you guys today. We had a issue, so we're just making sure that we are live, and give us one more second here. It looks like I had to do a manual thing to get us live. So there we go. I think we are live on all of our platforms. Man, we just wanted to share our heart with you guys today. There's some messages that God has been sharing with us, and we would be unprofitable servants if we did not share this message with you. And so, make sure that you listen to the whole thing as you can, because there's something in here that we're going to talk about. And I can just feel it. And I know Allie feels it too, that is going to touch your heart and help you to take action on whatever it is that God is calling you to take action on. So if you want to share with us in the comments what that is, that's awesome. If you want to just share, say hi because you're live or watching as a replay, we'd love to see that too. But I'm going to go ahead and start us off here with a scripture. So this is 1 Timothy 4:12. And as I read this, I want you to think about, how does this apply to your business? Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers, in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. I love that concept, right? Especially because in this world right now, it's a little bit scary to be Christian. Anybody feel that? Sometimes you feel like you might be judged for being Christian, or maybe you're representing God to other people and you don't feel like you're good enough to do that, or whatever it might be. I remember several years ago, I used to fly back and forth from Utah to Texas every other week for 6 years, which was a lot, but I spent a lot of time in airports. And I do not watch the news, guys. Like, my husband filters it and makes it Elise safe, and then I get to know what's happening in the world, because
and then Elise tells me, because I don't even watch the news at all.
Exactly, because it scares the crap out of me. I'll just be honest. But I was watching, and I'll never forget this. It was so terrible. I was watching in the airport about these people who went in like with guns into like a school or something, and they shot like all the Christians, and they literally like lined them up, which was just crazy. And they said, "You won't die if you deny Jesus Christ." Oh man, it was so hard to hear about that, because I had to ask myself, like, could I do that? Could I actually say that I'm a believer when my life is in danger? Like, it's insane. And guess what? Our life is not in danger right now, right? Thank goodness, thank the Lord. Like, yes, but how can we be examples of the believers? How are you doing that on social media? How are you doing that with your friends and your family that you talk to? And we're going to take this even a step further, but I want to open that up real quick here for us to have that discussion of, Allie, what are your thoughts on that, of just that first layer before we go into the second layer?
I think it comes down to having the ability to, and we talk about this in Radiant Leadership Academy, but having a thick skin and a soft heart, being able to realize that as you step out in that boldness, there are going to be people that disagree with you, like you were talking about with the news and everything. Like, there are going to be people that see what you do as a threat, or as they just don't want you to be what you are, which is,
I don't understand it.
Christ. They don't understand it. Yeah. And that is hard. It's just hard to be in that space, but it's also showing God that you trust him more than man, and it's showing God that you truly are not just saying, I'm a believer, I, go to church every Sunday, I, whatever. It's like, no, I'm committed to this. I'm committed to this, come what may,
Yeah.
So it really just, it's really just about, no matter what people say, no matter what they do, like, knowing between you and God what it is that you are doing. And that's just the first layer. We haven't even gotten to the second layer yet, but you know what I'm saying? Like, and really realizing like that mantle of I'm not even going to say responsibility, because it's not through us. It's us surrendering to allow him to be more important than anything else, including and most importantly, when people disagree, because it's easy to do it when people are agreeing with you and stuff. But I'm saying going out in the world and being bold for faith, for God, for, being a Christian, like that is huge. So
Absolutely. So, I mean, think about, how is God calling you to be an example of the believers? And that's just one of those pieces, right? So let's take this even further. And there's a phrase that God keeps putting on my heart over and over and over again. And that is, be ye an example of the successful believers. And at first, I was totally uncomfortable with this concept. I was totally uncomfortable with it. One, because I don't like sharing my wealth on social media. Like, that just makes me feel so uncomfortable. And if you've been watching my social media posts lately, that's what they've been about, because I can't help it. I can't help it. When we made $10,000 in our first week with this company that, we're talking about here today, like, you can't help but, like, you see a great movie, or like when you saw Chosen for the first time, did you want to just go tell the world about it?
yes, yes.
Everyone needs to watch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we feel about Daily Paid. Like, everyone needs to know about it, because it gives people such hope. But here's what happens. And I've been, coaching in the marketing, sales, and business world for 14 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've helped a lot of people to achieve their goals. But I will lump myself in this category. We are afraid to put our stuff out there. It's so true. We are afraid to put our stuff out there. I am the queen of value add.
I was just going to say, I was like, yeah.
If you go to my Facebook, our Facebook group, Faithful Ladypreneurs, which is awesome. For years, I have just been pouring out my heart and soul with value add year after year after year, and just amazing tips and ways to be able to gain closer relationship with God and build your business and all those things. And I looked back, and one of the best things about this daily pay system that we're talking about is it pushes you out of your comfort zone so that you get your products and services out into the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, how is anyone supposed to know? If I don't tell people, we had a $2,500 or $2,400 day yesterday, and the day before that we had or a few days before that we had like a $3,600 day. Honestly, we've been making so much money I can't even keep track, which makes me feel so uncomfortable to say. It totally does. Like, my posts that I'm posting right now are so uncomfortable, but we need to be examples of the successful believers. It is so important for us to show other people that it can be done, and that success is a good thing, and it can be tied to Christianity. I was talking to someone the other day, and they're like, oh, I really want to narrow down in this niche of Christian, women entrepreneurs, but they're broke. And I was like, what? Like, get that out of your mind right now, girl. Like, not all Christians are broke. Not all Christians are not successful in business and all that. We need to step up and be examples of the successful believers. So, Allie, I know you've got something to say. What do you want to share with that?
I just love everything you're sharing, honestly. But I think that the more that we step out of our comfort zone, the more that we truly step into God's economy, which is what I truly feel like we have done. You will see, like, these glasses come off, and it's like all of a sudden, or they come on, I don't know, however you want to look at it, but like all of a sudden everything is shifted, everything is changed. And I apologize, all my kids are home and they're all standing right here. What do you need? Okay, we'll talk about it later. I'm on a live right now, so I will talk about it later. Okay,
this is life, man. This is life.
This is life. We're all home, and it's Easter. Oh my gosh, can we just tie that into all the things? It's Easter right now. Oh my gosh, it's the Easter weekend. It's Good Friday. Oh, so good. Okay, but I just wanted to say, so I really have just loved the fact that we're stepping into God's economy, where everything is abundant. There is only abundance, and that's it. There is no lack. And I know it, like, in my head, and I felt it in my heart, and I have experienced it a little bit, but not to this degree. And you may be asking, okay, Allie, but you've done all these other things. You've been talking about all these other things that we're doing. And by the way, we're a connector agency. So you will see a lot of things. We'll talk about a lot of things because we love all the things. And people say that it can't be done. They say that you have to niche down. They say that you have to whatever. But in God's economy, he doesn't niche down. Like, I'm just going to say he doesn't. He has everything, right? There is everything. There is, anyways, I could go off on a whole nother tangent there. But my point is living in God's economy is beautiful. It is peaceful. It's just beautiful. And being able to do that allows you to grow. So anyways, my kids are fighting, so I'm going to let you keep going.
I love it. Love real life, right? I think we're used to like babies and dogs barking and, all that kind of stuff going on with the life that we live on Zoom most of the time, huh? But I want you to think about it. It doesn't matter if you join us in M2 Daily Pay, although we highly encourage you to, because you never know what can happen. If you want daily pay of dings every single day on your phone telling you that you made a sale and you did hardly anything for it, which sounds way too good to be true, but it totally is. But definitely check out m2dailypay.com for sure. But the thing about it is that most of the people who are watching this, you have a business already. What are you doing to get it out there? If I go to your social media profile right now, can I within 5 seconds know who you serve and how you serve them and how I can get a hold of you to help, have you help me, right? That's so important. And so, yes, we are afraid of coming off as spammy or sleazy or salesy. We all have that fear. And guess where that fear comes from? Well, one, fear always comes from Satan, right? It's never from God. 2 Timothy 1:7 talks about the fact that God is not a God of fear, but of love and of sound mind and of power, right? And so step into the power that you've been given. Now, I'm not saying you have to blast it everywhere all the time. That's the only thing you post. I've always been a believer of the 80-20 rule, 80% value add or, getting to know you or whatever, and then 20% ad or promo or however you want to talk about it. I'm actually skewing that a little bit, and I'm doing it in a way that makes me feel so uncomfortable, but I can't help it. People need to know about this. When Allie and I talk to people about m2dailypay.com, our daily pay system, people are just the number one thing that they say all the time. I don't know, Allie, if you can unmute yourself and tell us what is the number one thing people say when we tell them about this opportunity?
I've been praying for this.
Every time.
I've been praying for this. This is an answer to my prayer over and over and over and over and over, because that's what it felt like to me as well.
Me too.
And it's not that you have to be completely broke for this to be an answer to your prayer either. You could be doing well, but you're burnt out, or you could be pulled in so many different directions and you need something that's easier and quicker. And here's the other thing that I want to mention too, is that the thing I love the most about it is it allows you to, we're not just promoting this to just promote this. We're promoting this because this opens the avenues for all the other things that you love to do and the things you want to invest in and the ways that you want to show up in the world. I don't know. Without getting into too many details, it will open all the doors to all the other things. And so that's why it's so powerful. In and of itself, it's amazing. But what it can do for all the other things that you have passions about, that you love, whether you're in business, whether you want to be in business, but you don't know where to start or how to do it. And even if it's not business, even if it's I just want to be able to help people in a bigger way, it just opens all of those doors. Because let's be honest, in the world's economy right now, like Elise was saying, it's crap. I'm sorry, but we are struggling to pay bills. We are struggling to pay we as in the world, right? Us as the world. We are struggling to pay bills. We're struggling to pay groceries. We're struggling to whatever. And so we can't invest in the things we want to invest in because we are so focused on our temporal well-being, right? And so being able to live in God's economy and be able to offer something that can truly help people in a massive way, to then allow them to invest in the things that God has put on their heart. That's what true freedom is. It is faith, financial freedom. It is allowing yourself to step into a space where where it truly is, everything is abundant. Everything is open. And I don't know how else to describe it other than that. So I'm going to get off my soapbox, but thank you
No,
for letting me
it's
share.
awesome. Absolutely. I mean, the thing about it is that if you're running a business, whether it's network marketing or coaching business or whatever, it doesn't matter. It takes a while to set that strong foundation, right? And so we encourage you to keep working whatever it is that you're working, but let's add to it. Let's take off the stress of hopping on a sales call and thinking, oh, I really hope that they buy from me so that I can pay my bills this month, right? And because that stress just goes right to the other person, right? They feel that energy of desperateness, and then it just becomes this cycle that you can't break, or it feels like you can't break, but you have to do something different in order to get it. And so we want you to step into belief that you can make thousands of dollars every single month. Belief that God has put those goals on your heart for a reason, and that He will help you to obtain them. I believe that God would never put a goal on your heart that He wasn't willing to help you obtain. Now, that's not always in this life, because I know with my struggle of infertility for 14 years until we got our miracle baby son, like he's amazing. But that could have been that maybe in this life I wasn't meant to have a child, right? But I know that I will receive the blessings that God has for me because He keeps His promises, and it's in His timing and not ours. But He can't, like, He's bound by law, by universal laws. And so if we're not doing our part, if He gives us, there's this story where this guy, and I probably gonna mess up the details, I'll make some stuff up, right? But this story is where this guy is in this flood, and he's on top of his house because everything
I love
is
this story.
yes.
Yeah.
And so, what happens? He's asking God. He's like, please, please just help me to get out of this flood. And so this boat comes along, and he's like, hey, come on, hop in the boat. And he's like, no, I'm waiting for God to save me. And then, a helicopter comes along and says, hey, get on the helicopter. No, I'm waiting for God to save me. And he dies in the flood. And he's at the pearly gates, right, with Peter or whoever. And he's asking him, well, what happened? And he said, well, I was waiting for God to save me. And he's like, didn't you see the boat? Didn't you see the helicopter? Like, we are given opportunities to take advantage of them. And yes, I want you to pray, like any opportunity, this one, anything that comes into your path, pray about it. But if it feels right, don't let fear and doubt hold you back. Believe in yourself. Believe in the goal that God has for you. Believe that you can have abundance. I know it hurts. I know it hurts to believe. I remember after several years of trying for a baby, and I was at that point where my 10th fertility treatment failed. And I told God, I can't do this anymore. You can't expect me to keep putting my body and my emotions and everything through this. And then we feel that way sometimes with our businesses, right? You can't expect me to keep doing this calling that I know you've given me when I'm not receiving any kind of success. And the thing is that we can turn to the Lord in those moments, and He will be with us. And we can have those amazing moments. We can have those moments where I held my son for the first time and everything else was totally abandoned and let go. But we can believe that we can have those things. And in that moment, when I had that 10th failed IUI, I told God that it hurts too much to even hope. Are you at that point? Are you at the point where it hurts too much to even hope that you can have that success? I feel like right now we get to be hope givers. It is more important for you to hope than ever. And I want you to hope with us. I want you to hope that you can have a better life, because that's where it starts. If you can even just have the desire to believe, that's where that belief starts from. And it's that seed that gets planted and it grows into something you can't even imagine that is going to help you and other people. But sometimes it even just starts with hope. So just hope that this can be an opportunity for you, or whatever it is that God's put in your path. Allie?
I just love that. And I have a similar experience, except in a different way. And this is why we share our stories. This is why God wants us to open our mouths so that we can be.
We're just a hot mess today, really.
Yeah. So that we can be an example of these successful believers, but even just believers. But if we don't say anything, then we are doing you a disservice by not opening our mouths. And so with my story, I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. And I'm not going to go into all the details, but I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. I've done a lot of things, and over and over and over again. Some have been really successful, some have been really big failures, but one in particular was the first business I ever started, and it was a little baby boutique thing, and I put so much money and so much time and so much effort. I mean, like, and I don't know about you, but digital business is so much easier than a product business. And because I had to like create all the things and send prototypes and get it shipped from, overseas, and house it in my garage and then send it out, and then, all these things. And if you're part of some network marketing companies, they have physical products, you have to do kind of the same thing. But like, I did so much and I invested so much money into it. And there's lots of stories that don't involve money, but I want the money one specifically because we are feeling that right now. We are feeling the fact that we have spent time and money and resources on all these things. And you guys, there was debt that I've had on this because I had to front load so much money in the beginning. And yes, the business is actually still going. It's awesome. It still makes money, but the debt that I had was so massive that and massive for me, but it was so massive that I've had the debt for like 7 years. 7 years I've had this debt that is just sat there, and I've just slowly, ever so slowly, but I hadn't been able to actually make a dent in it, right? And then I just realized, as we are building this and as we are becoming this connector agency even more, and stepping into this, and then also with this daily pay, you guys, I'm going to be able to pay off that debt like by the end of the year, maybe even by the end of the next 90 days.
Yeah.
Like, what? And I'll just be super transparent with you. It's like $30,000, right? Which for some people is like, oh, that's nothing. But for me, that was a lot of money, right? But I'm going to be able to pay it off super fast. And isn't that God? Isn't that God that we walk through the wilderness, we walk through that famine, and we like are struggling for so long, and then it just, in an instant, we talked about this last time in our other life, the walls of Jericho just come down, and all of a sudden you're just like, wow. Like, that can be your story. That can be your life, because that is, and granted, we are very transparent right now. Like, we've made, how much have we made now? I think
close to $13,000 in less than 2 weeks.
In less than 2 weeks, y'all. And again, I'm not saying that this is the be all end all. I'm saying this is just the beginning to open up to all the things that you want and need to do. Because, like, for example, I love Girl Power Alliance. Like, I've talked about it all the time. I teach RLA, and we have, like, anyways, there's just so many things I love about it. It's a Christian company, and we just do so many beautiful things. But I know sometimes it's a struggle, because you're just like, but because it's a membership, and you pay for it every month, and we can make income with that as well, which is so beautiful. But my point is that you're going to have things that are your passion, or you have a coaching program that you love, that you teach people, and that is your thing, or you have another network marketing company that you love, that is your thing, right? But we all need to pay our bills. We all need to do that. But even more than that, even more than paying our bills, we need to live in abundance, which means that we need to have different types of income streams, different ways of income streams. Like, there just needs to be streams, like a stream. And when we say stream, the image that popped into my head was a stream, an actual living water stream, right? A stream in the desert, away in the wasteland, right? This is what this is providing for you, is another stream to allow you to pour into everything else that you're doing. It affects everything else. And again, you pray on it. It's between you and God. But I'm telling you right now, so many people have said, this is an answer to my prayer. And it was for me. And I know it is for Elise. And so we can't not share it with you. We can't not share it with you. Like,
Exactly.
you know, so.
Exactly. So if you get annoyed with our, made this much money today and made, and just have those posts come up all the time, the thing about it is, well, one, we can't, unfortunately, and this is super hard, and I know you guys can relate to this, but we can't allow the opinions of others to affect us, right? We need to stand up for our beliefs. And our belief right now is, of course, God, for sure. And we're always going to talk about God because he is the number one. But we share this with you because we have a belief in this and the power that it can have and that it does have to change your life, to do something different than you haven't done before to get a different result. That is so powerful. So I ask you to believe in yourself one more time. I ask you to believe in this company and this opportunity. I ask you to believe in God and his plan for you. And we tell you what we're making and we tell you about the things that are happening in our community, not to impress you, but to impress upon you what can be possible for you. And I just want to end here real quick with there's a lot of people who are hurting for money right now, or they're just not where they want to be financially. Even if you're doing great, there's always that goal of finances that you're striving for, because money gives us freedom to be able to better share what God has for us. And so this can work for you even if you don't have a product or service of your own, or you don't feel like it's ready to launch yet. I know a few people like that. You want to get more exposure for your own offers. You are ready to stop struggling for each sale. You are ready to start getting paid daily. I can't tell you how awesome it is every single day to get that ding on your phone that says somebody just bought this, somebody just bought this. Oh, it's so awesome. And we want that for you. It will work for you if you only have 1 to 2 hours a day to work in your business, or you may or may not have your own sales funnel set up. We do that for you. Like, you have $1 million sales funnel set up. You don't know how to post on social media or how to get sales from it. You have run out of your warm market. You are ready to try something different. You don't have an email address. Like, if you are feeling called to step into something bigger, to be able to share the light of Christ in a bigger way. Now, I know that seems so weird because we're talking about making money daily, right? How does that connect with Christ? When we put ourselves out there in a bigger way, God will give us the opportunity to share our light in a bigger way, our testimony in a bigger way. We are on this live right now because of m2dailypay.com, because of the opportunity, but it also is giving us a platform to share our testimony and our passion and our hope that we want to instill in you. So thank you so much for listening to us for almost 30 minutes, ramble on about our passions and about what we believe in. But it's time for us to all step up. Step up as a believer, whatever that may be that God is calling you into. Take that step in faith. Because you take that one step, even though you can't see any of the other steps, and God will provide the next one and the next one and the next one as we are staying close to him and doing the things that he is calling us to do. We can never go wrong. Even if we have quote unquote failures, we can never go wrong when we are partnered with God. You want to finish this up?
I love that. And it's been so fascinating to see how, oh my gosh, how everything in my life is literally coming all the way back around. Because I have felt like for so long there has been failure, success, failure, success, failure, success, or sometimes failure, 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 right? And yet he is using all of it for good, like all of it. Every single tear shed, every single frustration, every single connection, every single whatever. It's been so fun to watch. And I was just telling Elise that yesterday. And in fact, Wendy, you're one of those connections, my friend. We have done so much together over the last 6 years. And it's been so fun to just watch it come back around. And I'm just like, thank you, Lord. Like, thank you for allowing this life to be abundant and fun and easy. And easy is a hard word to say too, because of course there is work involved, right? But it's your perception.
This is not a get rich quick scheme.
Except we are getting
quick,
Rich,
rich.
rich,
Go back
quick.
down.
Yeah.
There is still work involved. Don't
Yes,
worry.
there is still work involved, but the
It's
fact
fun
that
work.
it is fun work, it's light work, it is easy work. Just going to put it out there. It's not hard. And anyone from any age range, any walk of life, anyone can do it. And that is also the beautiful thing. And so we just want to leave with you again how appreciative we are that you are listening, that you are even potentially thinking about, checking it out or whatever. But regardless of what you do in your life, whatever you invest in, whatever decisions you make, know that God sees you and he knows you individually, and he knows the desires of your heart. And don't settle. Whatever you do, don't settle, because there is abundance everywhere. And it's you have the opportunity to step into that. So say yes and step into it.
Amen. So if you want to learn more about how you can get daily pay and you can get access to this incredible system, then go to m2dailypay.com or message us, because we want you to be making thousands of dollars a month so that you have more to be able to give to other people, more time, more freedom, more money. That is living in God's economy. So thank you so much for being with us, and reach out to us. We'd love to chat with you. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.